I am trying to find us, girls. I don't know where in the world I am. I can't even begin to find us. Holy socks and garters. Holy socks and garters, girls. Where am I? I think I found us. I think I found us. I did find us. Okay, I am tipped too far up. We are going to get our Alfies on today. That's what we are going to do. I think I've got us down tight, but loose enough that I could hello, hello, hello. I had to take a moment to feed Clancy. So I was a minute or two late, and then of course finding anything on my computer is, well, I'm live, but my iPad is not. Okay, girls, I gotta go back out and come back in again. And let's see if I can find us. Okay, this is gonna drive me nuts. Please tell me this is not going to be my all-day thing today, is finding things. Come on. I found it. I found it. Okay. Here we go. We're going to get our Alfie on today. We've been practicing, and we're going to do some alphabets. Pay no attention up here because that's kind of a mess, but that's okay. So, first things first. Grab your whatever brush marker you're using, and we're going to quickly go through our practice of rest, down, flick, rest, pull, flick, rest, pull, flick, rest, pull, flick. That's basic. Rest, pull, flick, rest, pull, flick. Let's do some curves. I love doing the curves. I especially love it when you start adding the flicks. They're so pretty, even though I went way out of bounds on that one. Don't forget to hold your pen loosely. Don't forget to control your pen. Don't let it control you. Let's do some upward strokes. I don't like them as much, and I rarely use them because it doesn't feel natural. Another. I'm always going to have to fight with that one because that just feels so unnatural to me to go backwards. But you got to know how to do it, okay? So, are you ready to get started? I can't see comments. There they are. Is there any paper that they don't bleed through? Well, I don't know the answer to that because I'm not really worried about it at this point. But I don't know. Maybe Pat Brooks knows. Because it's practice for me, I don't care if they bleed through. I really don't. Let's see how the other ones do. Let's grab a, what's this? What? Yeah, you know, listen to me stutter. Let's grab I have to be plugged in while I'm working today because I think I'm a little down on my battery. Just a little bit, not too bad. I can unplug in a minute. Let's see if these bleed through. Rest, pull, flick. Rest, pull, flick. Rest, pull, flick. And it may be because you're resting, you're absorbing in. The Stampin' Up! Bleed. Let's check out our scrolling brush. Rest, pull, flick, rest, pull, flick, rest, pull, flick, rest, pull, flick. They bleed through as well. I don't know because what the paper we're going to be using, and I grabbed these so I could show you. These are envelopes from Hobby Lobby. I happened to get them for $3.24 for 100 envelopes. And let's just do this for a second, okay? So I don't know if these are going to bleed or not, girls. I have no idea. They are heavier than a notebook paper from the feel of it. They are not bleeding through. The Tombos are not bleeding through on my envelope. I can tell you that. They don't bleed through on this. So if you're worried about it on your practice, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't worry about it at all on my practice stuff. Let's just see if the other ones bleed through. There's no bleed with those on the envelopes. I guess I'm going to say just don't worry about it in your practice notebook, and they are going to bleed through. Let me grab it because I know I put it right here. Yes, I did. I told you you're going to need tracing paper, girls. And I was dead serious about it. You're going to have tracing paper. Let's see what happens with the tracing paper here. Okay. It shows through, but it does not bleed through on the tracing paper. We are doing what used to be called airmail stationery. So we are going to be using tracing paper for our beautiful stationery. And yes, it's going to show through, but my experience thus far is that although it shows through, it does not bleed through. I do know from past experience that it is going to be necessary for you to let a little time pass because these have to dry. I don't like what happens when you use heat on the tracing paper, although you can use heat on it. I just don't like it. Kind of warps it a little bit. And see, now you've got a little bit of extra idea of where we're going. With this. And I'm going to just lay it over a solid white so you can kind of see. And then what I love about it is that you lift it up. All that white detail shows up so beautifully. So, yeah, it doesn't bleed through the tracing paper, but it does bleed through my, just my regular paper. Okay? So, there you go. That's the bleed through. That's what we're doing. Okay, let's get busy because this is going to take a minute or two, more than a minute or two. I'm going to put these away because I didn't intend to use them today anyway. Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to make this little address book. We may have enough time, I hope, to do another one or two little address books so you can choose which one you want to make. This one turned out really sweet. I haven't got this in with my ownership stuff, but these are the pages that I asked you to print off, and I've been wanting to show y'all how to do this. And I thought this class was a perfect place because I made my own spiral binding. And it's hand punched, yes, and that is time consuming, true. But let me just tell you that doing your own little spiral binding is so easy, and you don't have to have a special machine. I didn't want to use something where we were using one of the binding machines. I wanted something where everybody could make little spiral notebooks. So that's what we're doing. And today we are going to practice. Okay, so listen, at this point, whatever pen you're using, I hope you're comfortable with it. I'm going to go with the darker colors today because I think you can really actually see better. And we're going to start with our Alfie. So this is going to be a lot of practice on your part. We are doing a curve and a straight. That was bad. Let's try again. Curve, straight. That's the A. Now, if you want to do a different kind of A, you can. You can do your curve, and you can do just a different kind of a straight. This is going to be up to you. I use this one. It's easy. And where you are going to be working with a monogram for a lot of this, I suggest you kind of figure out your letter. So B is a straight. And we're using the very tip of our pen. So you're straight. My straight isn't very straight. Tip, tip, straight. Only curve it. So it's really kind of an extended curve. So let's try again. B and curve. B and curve. And then your flick. I would do another flick at the top. And then if you have a darker color, come in at the top and go dark, at the bottom and go dark, and you can even bring it up and around. Just using the tip on that up and around. So there's your B. Your C is just a curve. Flick here. I'd flick a couple of times. Bring your tip and shadow. It's almost a shadow along that bottom. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. Just get your curve in there if you're doing a C. So if I were Cindy, I would go like that. I would go and flick twice and come in with my darker and flick again. D with a straight. This does not have to connect to this unless you want it to. Just keep practicing. Everything is going to require practice, girls. I like my curve thicker at the bottom on my D's. So D, I'm using the tip and I'm thickening at the bottom. So it's really thin and then wider. E, come down with the tip, draw your line down, and then across. So E, line down and across. And again, this is that wonderful curve. I hope you practice the curves. They are so important. F is kind of a fun one because it is a straight. Flick at the top, flick at the bottom, flick at the bottom again, flick at the top again. And then you're going to do a sideways flip. Flip it. And then your line. So just straight, flip, line. Now, if you don't like the way I do them, do your own thing. You could come in here and do that, which is a very narrow curve, and go across for your F. So here, narrow, across. And you're going to practice. So if I were doing fair, I'm just thinking in terms of what I could do. Fair, F, A, I, R, And this can even be a broad. It's up to you. So whichever you want to choose. G, your curve, a downward, but I like to bring mine up and around. So curve, downward, up and around. H, you see me do H's. It's so simple. I have the simplest letter of all, I think. Up, down. Up, down. Super simple for H. Very simple for I. J is that backwards. And I'm showing you lowercase right now. We'll go back and we'll do some uppercase. And you can give it more of a rounded look if you want. K. And it's just flicks. But do them better than that. Just do them better than I'm doing. L. L is just a straight line. M. It's just like my H, only you're going to have two. N. O is just your curve brought around. P. Q. R. S is the hardest. It's the hardest for me. I cannot help it. S. That's all it is. And you'll add your flicks both at the top and at the bottom. T. You can just do a straight T. Or you can do a rounded T. U. V. W. There's a couple of ways. Get them closer together than that. Or you can do W, W. X, Y. We'll do a Z up here. So you're going to practice making your alphabet. That's going to be a big practice. I'm going to turn the page. I'm grabbing a different pen because I'm tired of that one. And let's just work on some uppercase letters. If you're doing an A, I like it when it has a little more flow to it. But it can also just be block. It's really block lettering. But your flicks are what's going to differentiate this. So if I am doing a capital A and I'm just going to do the block, by the time I've added my outlining, and detailing, and I've shadowed, because you're going to add drop shadows to this, girls. It looks so much better when you do. It's going to be darling. So don't think you have to fancy it up. You don't. So if I'm doing a B, I'm just curving. That's all I'm doing. Your C is going to be the same. Your D, E's are a little tough for me. I'm going to be honest with you, because the best way to do them is like that, and it's a stacked curve. F. But I would tell you this. When you detail these out, any of them are going to be gorgeous. G, I love. H, super simple. And you've seen me do it. But you don't even have to go to that. You can do an H, an F, any of these letters without the big swoop. I, with my I, I'm really careful about getting my waist in. I don't do a serif on those, but I do like to get my waist in. And I don't put a dot over a capital I. J, rest and curve. Rest and curve. I think that's easiest. You could also do it simple with a more simple curve, but it is one of the backward curves. Capital K. You guys, I'm sorry, I am not even looking at your comments today. I apologize for that. This one I love because you can do a wonderful curve with a little loop, and I think it's beautiful. And your flicks are going to come from both directions. You can bring it underneath there. And the beauty of it is that you can then build your word inside. M, I have a hard time with the M's, and my name starts with Michelle, and I still have a hard time with it. I have a hard time flattening out my bases, so I go back and flatten them out with the flick. N. I love throwing that little tail up on an N. O is still, it's just bigger. P, Q is an O with attitude. R, and again, straighten out your top and bottom with your flicks. You can have a big tail, you can have it just be straight. Either way are going to look great. S is the same thing again. And that's the one I practice over and over and over. I beat myself up over it. T, straight, and you can just do a straight top, or T, straight, and you can just come around. U, that tail really works on the U. V, when you're working with capitals, you can go a little more excessive, so you can bring that up and over. Or you can just do it straight. W, I like this W. That's up to you how you do yours. You can do it straight or you can do it curved. Either way. X, Y, or you can do your Y so that you get that loop. And Z, I don't use it enough to even really practice it, girls. I just hardly ever use it. But I know we have Z's in here, so practice your Z's. That's where you're going to start. You're going to get, I want you to build an alphabet. If it means you have to have a whole page of A's, then do a whole page of A's. But I want you to then go back and detail out your A's. So add your flicks and add your detailing to them. You want to have a monogram. Decide what your monogram is going to be. My monogram is going to be an H. I like lowercase letters, so I tend to go towards lowercase. So if I'm doing my monogram, almost always you're going to see me doing just a simple H. If I were doing an uppercase H, I guarantee I'm going to do a fancier crossbar. Then I'm going to come back and I am flicking the heck out of this. I am giving it all the attitude I want it to have. And don't be afraid to use the tip, but you're putting no pressure on your pen when you're using the tip. You are doing zero pressure. You're letting the ink just flow. Then I want you to come in with whatever fine line you're going to use, and I want you to start lining. So you're coming in and you're lining. Then give us some detail. Come underneath your letters and give them a little drop. Go down. Maybe add some dots on your letter. Start to make your own. I just really want you to have a great monogram. Decide for yourself what colors. Maybe you want all the colors. So you're going to do your monogram in 10 different blends. It depends on what I'm like right now. I've been using so much pink. So somebody asked me what colors these pinks were, and it's candy apple, I think. Candy pink. Candied pink. And this was one that I made it work for myself. You can add a deeper pink if you want to. This one is pure pink. Let's see how that's going to work with this. Oh, that's obnoxious. And that's one where I might even take a blender pen and try to blend those so that that deep pink is not so aggressive. Well, that blender pen just lifted the paper. So you're going to decide exactly. Let's take a baby pink. Let's try it this way. You can barely see it. And I hope you can see it well enough. I've got my flicks. I've got my downstroke. Can you see that I just barely used the tip of my pen there? Just barely. You don't want to make it crazy. Now I'm coming in with this. Oh, I love that. I suppose you could add a third pink if you just had to. I'm not going to. Gonna take my twin tone. This is not the same color of pink as the pink I used, but it'll give you an idea. Now, where I have gone and used the tip of my pen, I don't make two lines, one on each side. I just make one line. So this is one line. And this just joins right there. I don't increase the width of that line at all. Come in here and then come back with your drop shadow. And I like mine on the left side of my letters. And I almost add a little bit under there every time. I just think it looks good. You can come in and add pink, add white, add whatever you want to it. I'm just doing simple. If I were doing, let's grab this green because I love this green. If I were doing my uppercase monogram, and I'm working thin because I'm practicing not making such bulky letters. It's something that as I've been practicing, I notice I kind of get thicker and thicker and thicker as I go. There we go. There's my H. Let's come in and do my outlining. And that's what I would like to see you practicing today. Practice making an entire alphabet. Practice making your, and it should be individual to you, your monogram. Now I can come in, oops, I hit that, that's crazy. I don't have to add, whoa, that's not a good drop shadow. I don't have to add any detail if I don't want to. I can just come in and drop my shadow across. Just like that. I don't have to add anything more to it than that if that's what I want. I can always come in and just that's probably the easiest detailing in the whole wide world, is just adding like little highlights. So simple. Are there any questions as of yet? Any questions so far? It is really pretty. The other thing I really want you to practice, and this is something we haven't really talked much about, but we are going to now. We're going to add some detail on the outside. So if I want a couple of leaves, I'm going to lay my brush and just add a couple of leaves. Now, if I want some roses, I can add some roses. To detail my leaves is so easy because I can just take that twin tone and come here and lightly go down the center and lightly form a border. But I don't know if you can see this. Can you see the border is outside the leaf? It's outside the leaf. It's not on the leaf. To add detail to my rose, I'm just going to darken the bottom half. I'm going to come in and I'm darkening just the bottom half. Then again, and this, understand this is not the same color, so it's different. I'm going to come and just circle up the bud, and I'm doing it loosely. And again, I'm going to add those same loose lines, almost like the bud is opening. Then I can come back in. I can add some almost like grass to it. We're going right through this baby H. I can come in and add spirals and other things to give it more life. That's up to me how much I do with that. Let's see if I can lift this up so you can see it. Can you see? I don't know if you can even see. There we go. So I want you to oh, you couldn't see that. I've got to move it over this way. There you go. You can see better. A little bit. So I want you to try some of that. If you want to make hearts, and I love making hearts, and brush pens make it so easy. All you have to do is join like that. That one's a little raggedy, but you get my drift. You can have hearts all over everything. So your practice for tonight is, I want you to make an alphabet, and I want you to work on your own monogram. Okay, that sounds like a lot, and it is. Tomorrow for class, you need wire. You need wire. I used poster board for my cover, but you could use cracker box or poster board. You need a hole punch. You're going to need your pens because we're going to do some kind of a little cover. I made you an H. I used 20 gauge wire. And this stuff is really soft. And it didn't work quite as well as I wanted it to, but it worked fine. So you need printed paper. You're going to need wire and a hole punch, and you need to print these out. Now, this is going to be the first little one we make. Oh, you also need something to wind your wire around. I wound mine around my Posca pen. So whatever, it's going to tighten up as you put it in place. Or at least mine did. It tightened up quite a bit as I put it in place. Oh, well, if you've got the ARC system, because I have the punch, I don't have the discs, but if you have the punch and the ARC system, go ahead and use it. If you have a Zutter or a cinch and a small little thing, your book is going to be 4.5 by 5.5. 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches. You'll want some pretty paper. I found some old graphic 45. That's what I used. And I have enough of it to do my box out of the same. I am going to run to the store in just a minute. Let me write this down while I'm thinking of it, because you know I have to have a list. I am going to get a small spiral notebook. And tonight I am going to try to take the spiral off of that and use it for my notebook to see if that works. Because those little spiral notebooks are cheapity cheap. I need Fabrifix. I'm all out of Fabrifix. If you do not want to use the printout, that's fine. You could cut lined paper into 4.25 by 5.5 inch pieces. 4.25 by 5.5 is what your finished size is on these little pieces. So if you don't want to print this out, don't print it out. Get lined paper or blank computer paper or graph paper or whatever you want to build inside your book. Okay? I am going to take this little tag and I'm going to do property of and my personal information on this tag, and it will go inside here. I think it's going to go in a pocket. I really think it's going to go in a pocket. We are going to do the word addresses tomorrow, and we're going to build our first bouquet. I'm trying to think, what else did I need? Nothing for tomorrow. Now for Saturday, I'm going to put this up. I keep saying that every day, and every day I forget. For your box. If you are making a box that you want to keep forever, get chipboard. If you are making a box as a as kind of a sample so that you will know how to do it again and again and again, get poster board. So it depends. If you are going to go for the gusto and make your keepsake right with me, get chipboard. If you are making a sample so that you can go back and make your keepsake, use poster board. I'm just telling you. And you will need printed paper, of course. And I would guess you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 to 5 pieces of printed paper for your keepsake box. You've got to have envelopes. I'm going to put up a, what's it called? A pattern for an envelope, but you'll want to have, get some inexpensive envelopes. They can even be the dollar store kind that you just put any regular, in fact, I'll go get some. Get envelopes so I can show you how to make them pretty. But you'll have a pattern so you can make at least some of your envelopes out of your tracing paper. You need tracing paper. Tracing paper is wonderful. And I'm going to tell you, I prefer it to vellum. So and it's less expensive. I think the pad I got was like $6 or $7, and it had 50 sheets of tracing paper in it. You can't get vellum that cheaply. So get your things together. For tomorrow, you know what you need. Poster board, wire, printout or papers for the inside, and printed papers for the outside. I am going to go get that little spiral notebook, and I'm going to see if I can take the spiral off of it and use it for this. So if you have a little spiral notebook hanging around, and it doesn't matter what size because you can cut it down. If you happen to have a spiral notebook hanging around that you're not using, let's see if we can't use that to make the spiral. That would be even easier. The hardest part about it is punching your holes, and you need an 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch hole punch. And if you have a crocodile would work very, very well. So just a hole punch, okay? That's for tomorrow, girls. Are there any questions for me? Any questions, any requests, anything? Because if not, I've got to go to the store, and although I put on a clean shirt, I have on the same pants I've been wearing for 3 days. I think I should change them. I mean, I don't know what you think, but I think I should. So here we go. This is what we're doing. What are you going to do tonight? You're going to practice your alphabet, and you're going to work on your very own monogram, because we're going to be using your monogram on Saturday. On Friday, when we do brush layered lettering, we are going to be really working on the details. That is going to be 90% of the class. We'll go back and do some of the basics, but we are really going to work on making your brush layer lettering come to life. We're going to work on some bouquets, hearts. We're going to possibly, if I can remember exactly how I did it, I used to do them all the time. I used to take my brush pens and make the most gorgeous sunshines with them. And if I feel like I'm capable of doing it well, we will do that. It's going to be a great day on Saturday, and I want you to know, I'm trying to put my pens all in one place. I want you to know that I am going to be as patient and take all the time you need to do this. On Friday to do the lettering, you've been following along, and if you've been practicing, you are so far ahead of the game, I can't even tell you. This is going to be a walk in the park for you. If you haven't been practicing, please try to practice tonight because it's going to be really important. Those of you who've been practicing, some of you put your pages up, and I'm just going to tell you, I was gobsmacked. You've done so well. You've done so very well. Keep at it. This isn't something you learn and do the very first day. It takes practice to get good at it. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Please show your lowercase alphabet so I can screenshot it. Well, Becky, you got it. It's not good. Don't expect it to be good. I'm going to do I have it so you can screenshot it? Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I think you can screenshot that. At least I hope so. How about a cereal box will work great, honey. Cereal box would work great, Chris. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other requests? Because you're getting your Alfie on now. Look, you've done all this practice. You have been practicing like a beast. Even I've been practicing. You know, I mean, it's not like I just fell into this. So keep going and keep practicing and keep trying. I love this one. Practice, practice, practice. It turned out darling. If you have, and I really want to emphasize this, if you have, for instance, a word, maybe you're doing a baby shower and you want me to kind of show you how to do the word baby, please let me know ahead so that I can put it on my list of things to do. I have kept this because that's my best backward curve ever. My very best backward curve ever. Yeah, truly. So, yes, there's the lowercase. There's the uppercase. Get your stuff. Get all of your dolls and dishes ready for tomorrow because we get started tomorrow. Oh, gosh. This was a note on for Ornamentally Yours last Christmas. Now I've got to think of Ornamentally Yours for spring. Holy socks and garters, what will I do? All right, girls, I'm going to take off so that I can get everything done that I need to get done. Do you have any questions at all for me before I take off? Anything at all? I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to call it a day. Love you, girls. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.